Mhm. Okay, good morning. Welcome to the 11th episode of our Knowledge Fishing online talk show. My name is Manit, and I will be your moderator throughout today's session. As in previous episode, Knowledge Fishing is an online cultural talk show platform where knowledge can be shared between youth and professionals from different countries. For our objectives are to create a platform for the exchange of knowledge from different perspectives, culture, and sector, encourage the culture of learning from each other, bring people from different experience, skills, and background together, and modestly discuss the differences, be aware of intercultural diversity, and to able to accept the unfamiliar. These are some of the important things that we want to achieve in this program. And for today's topic, we are focusing on lifestyle exchange and mostly about life experience in a foreign country. As we know that in present, many people have adapted live in the different countries for studying, working, and living. As to this, when moving abroad and live in another foreign country, we believe that everything is different for them. For sure, living in overseas can offer new opportunities, new lifestyle, new careers, and a new direction. So, however, living in another country can be a difficult and wonderful experience for many people at the same time. So without any further delay, let's begin, and please stay tuned until the end to hear the experience from our guest speakers to get more tips, guidance, and get to know more about the difficulties, the challenges, how they enjoy living in a foreign country, and how they fit in there. And also the benefits and beautiful moments that our both guest speakers have been through so far, and let's cheers for them. It is now a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker today, who are going to talk and share with us about the experience of living in a foreign country. Today, we have two beautiful ladies again, our distinguished speakers from two different countries, Miss Hkawn Ling from Myanmar and Robecon Iela Ligligen Chakiton from Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us today, Miss. We are delighted to have you here and appreciate for your support and for such a wonderful contribution. Welcome, and how are you guys doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here today.
I'm pleased to be here as well.
Thank you. A very good morning. Yes, so without any further delay, yes, all right, let's get started. So the first question allowed me to begin by asking you guys regarding your experience. How is it feel to live in a foreign country? And do you happen to meet language difficulties or communication barrier in the country that you are moving? Any one of you can go first. Thank you.
Yes, when I first moved to Thailand, when I was like 16, yeah, of course, I do have language barriers, but that's why I tried to go to Thai language school to learn Thai so that I could at least, communicate with them. And yeah, that's what I did. And yeah, I think moving to any different country, you would definitely have language barriers.
I agree with Miss Ling. Language barrier is actually a challenge for me. When I came here in Cambodia in 2014, I was like, oh my gosh, how can I even communicate with these people? And I felt the urge or the pressure to really learn the language. It's really challenging because you want to say something, just maybe appreciate someone, but you can't do so. You want to buy something, but all you have to do is to show them a picture of what you want to buy or you want to get from them.
Yeah. So you can speak Cambodian now?
Survival. Survival language.
Good.
Yes.
So what is the Cambodian phrase that you can speak?
Ang yambay. I think yambay because they always say that one. And of course, somokon and those words that I think are necessary for me to communicate to the locals.
So thank you for sharing your experience. So moving to the next question, what are some of the necessary things that we should learn to before traveling or moving to another country?
Well, let me go first. Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Personally, as I travel to different countries, I believe that it's necessary to be educated when it comes to their currency, which is very important, right? What to bring, because we need to buy goods or we want to pay something. Additionally, a bit of their language. Example, like what I mentioned earlier, vocabulary that are in handy, like toilet, bangkon, for example, or sumokon, thank you, ngambay, because I always hear that. And I think that is very important for the reason that we want to kind of have a connection from the very beginning. Of course, a bit of their history, a bit of the history of the country that you want to go, because we want to understand the people's way of life. We cannot jump into a country and that, oh, what is happening here? This is for me is very important. Why? Because it's a jump start in order for you to intentionally get into the historical site, museums, and the like when you get to the place. If you really want to know that country where you're traveling or moving in. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's the same for me. I would also say definitely learn their culture before you go anywhere, because that's the most important thing for me. For example, like in Asian culture, we do not wear shoes, right? Inside the house. But it's a different for another like Western culture. So like when you do that, it's really rude, right? You're being disrespectful. So I would really say that learn the culture and also the language, even if it's just basic, it would really help you. Like just hello and thank you, at least that, yeah. But for yeah, I think many people, many young people these days speak English. So it's okay if you just visit to like a country, and if you visit their capitals, like most people can speak basic, at least basic English, right? Even in Cambodia, like I do not know any Khmer, but I can still communicate with people because almost everyone can speak English. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much for choosing us and learning to adapt for our culture and living things. Thank you so much. So moving to this, what are some of the culture shock that you are moving here at the first time, or whether Thailand or Cambodia?
For me, one of the culture shocks I have experienced when I got here in Cambodia in 2014 is there wasn't transportation fare system, So I was totally uncertain whether the drivers are, telling the truth or just taking advantage of me. Of course, it's really hard, When Grab was introduced, it was total relief on my end. So thank for Grab for that new system that Cambodia has. One more is, of course, seeing monks. For me, is like really shocking. Monks having access on gadgets and phones. It was really ironic compared to the kind of monks that I used to read, or yeah, that I read in books. And I feel like, oh, maybe these are modern monks, because monks are, like they're in a temple, they're meditating and the like. But when I get here, like, is this for real? That's for me. That's something new. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I would say I can't recall any culture shock because all the countries that I've been to is all the Asian country, especially Southeast Asia, and we all have like similar cultures, similar value, and similar principles. But for monk, yeah, I would say like since I'm from Myanmar, which is a Buddhist country, we have a lot of monks too. Yeah, it's very common for them to use phone, get access to everything nowadays. Yeah, it become more modern. Yeah.
So is this all for culture shock here?
Yeah, I guess so, because I couldn't think of any culture shock for me because I only live in Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the expectations that you are come to again to Thailand or whether in Cambodia? expectation before and after going here?
Well, like when it comes to expectations, because I have been traveling to different countries, I think it depends on the information that you read, or personally that I read and I heard from other people. For example, when I traveled to Singapore, my expectation is different. I expect expensive and like experience of fast-paced life in the country, known for their systematic governance. Like I want to see that kind of government because I'm from the Philippines. It's different. It's a different country. When I went to or traveled to Thailand and Vietnam, of course, I was thinking of affordable food, like their clothes. I want to experience that one. Also Malaysia. And of course, when I came here in Cambodia, it's totally different because it was introduced to me by a missionary. The expectation here is different because I was expecting to be a blessing to this nation or to the locals, because what I heard about Cambodia is not for me to just travel here, but to do something different, to make an impact in the lives of these people that I'm going to meet. So this, I believe, has been in progress because of what I'm doing here in this country.
Yeah, for me, before I moved to Thailand, I didn't have much expectation other than giving me the freedom that I needed. Because it did give me the freedom that I need and the independence, since Bangkok is a very big metropolitan city and full of street foods, night malls, nightlife, and adventures. But when I travel to a different country like Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, whatever, I do have different expectation. Like, especially these days, right? We see on Instagram where people post about places looking so nice, picture perfect. And I expect that. And then I try to go there because of all these Instagram posts. Now, when I arrive there, the expectation and the reality is totally different. So it has disappointed me a lot in some way. Yeah. So I would say don't expect too much when you go to a different country, because you never know.
Edited. Okay.
Sorry, maybe the internet connection is not very good here. Sorry. So thank you for moving to this question. Like again, what are some of the difficulties and challenges regarding traveling to other countries? Like you already mentioned about currency, using the transportation, and the language barrier. And so, is there anything more from them, and how to deal with the challenges and difficulties?
Go ahead.
For me, I would just say you should do research before you go to different country. For example, like for transportation, right? Transportation, like now it's really advanced. So many countries use application like Grab, Gojek, whatever. So just learn, what they use. Try to do research, and then you'll be fine. And also about the language barrier, I guess we can just use Google Translate. It would make your life a lot easier. Yeah. So but the older generation in my country, they are not like really familiar with using different kind of platform. All they know is how to use Facebook and how to call. That's it. So so I think we really need to educate older generation how to really and properly use this type of platform, so that they don't have any difficulties when they go to different countries, and they won't need any assistance.
Thank you for that. Oh, well, I don't know for Miss Ling, but for me, getting out of my country is one of the most challenging thing that most Filipinos actually do experience, because in the Philippines we have a very strict rules, like the government rules to protect us, people, from any impending danger when we are going out of the country. But since I'm already out of the country, it's just easy for me to fly from one country to the other, so long as there is, of course, finances. If you're a traveler, of course, we have to think about that, right? How do I deal with this challenge when it comes to getting out of my country? It is, of course, to process the documents that are needed and have return ticket. We need to have a return ticket within a short a short span of time, for the assurance that we are safe. I appreciate that kind of system that we have, but it's kind of a really challenging, as if you're a first timer, or like you don't know the processes. But yeah, getting out of the country, it makes life easier, and travel, so long as you have, of course, the money that you need to go around.
So it's like the government required for you to have a return ticket.
Yes. Anywhere we want to go, we need to have a return ticket like that, especially if it's your first time to get into that country.
Usually,
Well,
because usually it's required by the other country's government, not the, your origin country's government. So it's like really different for the Philippines.
what about you?
In my country, like we can just travel wherever we like. But when we arrive to a different country, for example, we travel from Myanmar to Singapore, right? And then when we arrive in Singapore, if we are just visiting, we need to show a return ticket.
Yeah,
to
return
to the Korean government that you're returning, not gonna stay here for so long, something like that.
because maybe I think it's really to protect us from illegal recruitment and the like. It's a really good one, positive, I would say.
So yes, so allow me to asking you guys about the question, like can we all know that how is the cost of living over there different from the country?
If I compare the cost of living in Singapore to my country, of course, it's given that Singapore has a higher cost of living. But if I compare Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia to the Philippines, in my personal opinion, they're nearly the same. So the adjustment when it comes to lifestyle is just fine.
Yeah, for me, the difference is a lot, because when I moved to Bangkok, it was a big city, right? For example, in my hometown, if it's $10, I can use it for to buy food for 3 days, right? Yeah, but in Bangkok, it will be gone within a day if I eat in a local restaurant, or if I decided to eat at a special restaurant, it will be gone within one meal. So yeah, the difference is big. Yeah, I would say the same for Cambodia. Cambodia is also a bit expensive for me too. Yeah. So, but everything in my hometown is really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To visit there one day.
So by saying that, what do you love most about traveling to or moving to a foreign country?
It would be the excitement before going to new places, because I really love traveling, and I like to take photos, do some sightseeing, visit historical building, and try the new food. So yeah, I have all the imagination, but before I go, I'm really excited.
Wow, adventurous. Well, for me, it's interesting to learn. It's interesting to learn so many things when it comes to their culture. Here in Cambodia, I I see how the younger generation in this country are more open when it comes to learning. So for me, that is already an interesting thing. Those taking pictures, going to their beautiful places, those are extra, those are bonuses. But the most important thing for me is like experiencing the mindset, getting into the mind of the next generation, especially Cambodia, because this station is a young generation. Most of your young people, and seeing big vision in them, that makes it wonderful. It is worth traveling, not just the place itself, but the people's mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you learn after moving here to Cambodia, to the Thailand, and what was the hardest adjustment that you have to make here?
For me, since we have a very similar culture, like Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, they are all basically the same, and we all even wear the same type of clothes, you know. So yeah, I didn't really have any difficulties to adjust.
Maybe for me it's the first time when I got here, like what I mentioned, is negotiating about the fare. It's really challenging because here there's no at least point of reference, like, oh, how do I know? That was kind of, for 4 years I've experienced that one. It's hard to travel because everyday transportation is needed, right? Also, seeing people throwing their garbage anywhere, which I'm glad to say that this thing have been improving a lot as time goes by. At first I was like, it's a pain in my neck, but then I'm just so happy that things are changing drastically when it comes to discipline.
So since you say the transportation is a big challenge for you, is it easier in the Philippines?
It's easier in the Philippines because we have jeepneys. Jeep, that Philippines is known for that. Jeepneys, like there's so many people like facing each other, and the fare system when it comes to fare. Here in before, Cambodia used to just have tuk-tuk and the motorbike, and they just tell you how much you pay, but are you sure? Is that how much that's the amount that I need to pay? Because there's no point of reference. Where am I starting? That is very important, I believe.
Because I went to the Philippines for 2 times, right? I visited the Philippines 2 times, and when I visited there, especially in Palawan, I took something that is similar to tuk-tuk. And they also don't have a set price, so we have to pay whatever the tuk-tuk driver charges. Yeah,
maybe like that is in remote, province, remote area like that. I haven't been there though.
Yeah.
Great, you went there.
So is there any interesting places that you would like to recommend, whether in Myanmar or Philippines?
Places?
Yes.
Yeah, places for me in Myanmar, I think Bagan is where everyone goes because of the temple. It's a UNESCO heritage site. I think it's similar to Angkor Wat, right? Like all the temples and stuff like that. And also the big city like Yangon, Mandalay. And also I would suggest visit my city, my hometown, which is called Myitkyina. It's in the upper part of Myanmar. It's in the northern part. So in winter, it's really cool and really nice. And the natural nature is really pretty. Yeah, and the food are so good too. If you're into like Asian food, noodles, you should definitely visit Myanmar.
Interesting.
Yes.
For me, I will recommend a place where I have been to. My hometown, of course, it's the summer capital of the Philippines. Baguio City. Baguio City has the coldest weather because we are in the northern part. We have mountains, we have strawberries. You can pick strawberries there. The weather is really cool. That's what I miss as I stay here in Cambodia. There are also places where you can visit in the northern part where you have like rice terraces. If you know rice terraces,
Yeah.
that place.
Yeah.
That is one of the historical places also that we have. It's really interesting how people were able to really have that manner of farming, because it's mountain. It's within the mountains, and a lot more like beaches, but yeah, you can visit them like Palawan, as Miss Ning mentioned. We have Bohol. We have also places where I actually been here in Cambodia for long. Anyways, I'm just joking. But yes, go to Baguio City and experience festivals, flower festivals, beautiful flowers and food, of course, Asian food, but a different taste compared to Cambodia, or compared to Vietnam, because we don't really have that spices that you have or herbs that you have in your food, noodles and like. Yeah.
So do you mean the rice terrace? May I know what is the name? Because I've been to like Banawi or something.
Yes, that's the place. Benai Rice Terraces.
I've been there.
And we also have a cave there. You went there too. Impressive. You know more than I do. Good to know.
That's so cool. So you are talking about most of the culture. So can we know that what is the most celebrated festival or holiday in your country? And also the country you move in, especially in Cambodia, that you get to adapt to. Did you join any festival here too?
In the Philippines, we celebrate Christmas Day. For us, it's in our country. This is, or actually, it's generally right. It is one of the most important historical event happened in history in humankind. So we celebrate it as a family and as a nation. We commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ, and of course, we believe that his coming here is to save the entire world. Here in Cambodia, people celebrate Water Festival. What I mentioned about that, because I enjoyed it. I think that is an important holiday because it happened not just in Phnom Penh city, but also in the countryside. I experienced Phnom Penh Water Festival. It's really colorful. And I didn't expect that also in the countryside, they have boat racing, even if the lake is kind of small, but then they really have that excitement as they celebrate this colorful festival that they have. That one I would say is one thing that I really appreciate when it comes to celebrating holidays here.
Yeah, so you said that Philippines celebrate Christmas like as a big holiday, right? Yeah, when I went there, it was October. Christmas is in December, but they already all the decoration by October. You can really the Christmas spirit is everywhere. Yeah,
I agree.
It's really crazy. Yeah. In my country, it would be Tinjan, which is New Year. It's also a water festival. Actually, it's similar. Myanmar, Thai, Cambodia, Laos, they all have the same water festival, New Year. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really big one in my country as well. And also another big festival is called the Tinju, which is a lightning festival, and it relates to Buddha, like the birth of Buddha or something. Yeah. That's a really well celebrated in my country. Yeah. And other festivals in another country is the same with Burma, right? Songkran and Khmer New Year. Yeah. Really much.
It means that these countries have the same calendar, right? Like
yeah, they have the same like Buddha calendar or something, I think.
Oh,
The water festival date, the New Year date are all the same. What they do, yeah, it's similar. Yeah.
I see. Now I understand.
Yes, I'm about to asking you guys that whether the festival or holidays that most celebrated is in the like the start of the year or in the mid-year or at the end of the year.
December is at the end of the year, before New Year. What I know about, yeah, for you guys, for a water festival, I think it's kind of mid, yeah,
April?
mid of the year.
Mhm.
And also your coming New Year, like, oh, exciting. It is it is nearly ending. We are celebrating New Year. Like, we're using different calendar.
Yeah. So yeah, the New Year is in April. So I would say it's beginning of the year.
April. Mm.
Yeah. And also the lightning festival that we have, it's in October, so which is almost the end of the year.
Mm.
So yeah, so do you think and get too familiar with the moving to talking we are talking about the quarter, so moving to this like the healthcare system and the standard education that you have to been through in this country, especially in Cambodia, that you have to familiar, or can you describe some of that to us?
This is my answer to that question. It might be kind of a bias because it's based on my observation. Just correct me, yes, feel free to correct me if it doesn't apply to everyone. This country has many international schools, right? International
Yes.
schools everywhere that they have varied curricula to prepare the learners for international tests and skills needed in their future endeavors, which I think I appreciate because it must just vary depending on the system each school implements. Cambodia is very open when it comes to learning different languages, especially English language, maybe because of the history of the past, wherein education is really something that they have to really work on. Another thing is when it comes to the healthcare system, as I observe that there are people, I'm not pretty sure that when it comes to the percentage of how many people travel to the nearby countries, despite having clinics and hospitals in the country. There are many clinics, many doctors, many big hospitals here. And seeing all of this, it made me ask myself, why? Why are these people going to those nearby countries? Maybe, just maybe, there must be an action that have to be done or to be taken place to encourage the locals, the local Cambodians, or even the foreigners to really maximize the healthcare system that Cambodia has. Because having those facilities or having those buildings, hospitals and the like, and people are getting out of the country, like for me, it doesn't really make that so much sense.
Yeah, I agree with you because it's the same in my country. People, if you have money, they would rather go to Thailand for healthcare than do it in the country. Yeah, so in the country it's just for the average person or the poor person only. Yeah. I think one reason is also because they do not trust the doctors in the country. Yeah, so they would prefer the Thai doctor, yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
And with education system, I do not really know about Cambodia because I've never studied here or whatsoever. But I would say I think it's like definitely better, right, each year than compared to 5 years ago or something because of the technology advancement. So it's I think it's really getting better, and everyone here can at least communicate with foreigners. So I would say it's okay.
Yeah,
Sure,
just one more thing. Earlier, we came from the market and we're passing by. I saw a student with uniform. Maybe that student is in public school. Like they go to school even on Saturdays. For me,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's a thing.
they need to have a break.
Yeah.
Why don't we just give them a break?
Yeah, that's really surprising for me too. Because we always take a break. Saturday, Sunday is a
Yes.
break day, right?
Yes.
Everywhere. But here, everyone is still going to school, right?
Hi.
What else is there to learn? Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
more.
hear an answer. Go ahead.
Yes, mostly here, especially about primary school and kindergarten, high school students, mostly study around from Monday to Saturday evening. We only have a break on Sunday. But moving to the university and the college, we study from Monday to Friday over in the course that our professor take. Sometimes we study only 2 or 3 days for their course we choose. So different lifestyle change, whether to kindergarten, primary, and high school to the college. Yes.
So yeah, my question for you is that don't you get tired when you have to go to school for 6 days a week?
Yeah, right. I think our brain needs to somehow process the information, not overload our mind. What about that?
Were you happy or you're like, I want to go to school, I hate school? What was your experience?
Like you ask me or you?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
So technically, what like we just at the weekend we just do something that is over, come to work again, and sometimes we just mostly enjoy at the break time to the coffee shop or like something else to the mostly about the instrument shop. I like it. How about you?
Yeah, we didn't go to school on Saturday, so I can't really say much. Even for just going to school from Monday to Friday, it's really exhausting for me already.
Yeah, I
I
totally
like-
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree because in my country, we don't do that. We don't go on Saturdays unless there is a typhoon that we need to change, the day. Then we need to do that because we need to count the days of going to school. And we also don't extend it until 5. We go home, like we start at 7:30 until 4, and then we go home. We have our homework. Yes, we have. But just in my personal opinion, kind of Cambodia's education is kind of overloaded
Yeah.
because you learn different languages and then you go home. Oh, exhausting.
Yeah.
But I think you can do
Mm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Philippines is from 7, right? 7:30 to 4. That's even a long time for me because we only start school at 9 to
At
it's only
9.
9 to 3. Yeah, 9 to 3 only.
Great. Oh, 93. And you don't really learn other languages. Like you use only English like that, and then you learn one
Yeah.
subject for your own language. Is it how you do it?
Yeah, from grade 1 to grade 8, we do English as one subject, and all the other subjects are taught in Burmese. But in high school, except Burmese, all the other subjects are taught in English.
Oh, I see. We're different because in my country we use for most of the subject we use English. One subject is taught using our language. That's it.
That's it.
So it's kind of easier for us. We don't really, but the most difficult for most of us is our own language. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, her internet.
Yes. Like we are talking mostly about the experience through our high school or education system. So like yeah, all right now all we just want like to do at the weekend is taking a nap, a long nap.
Sure.
Yeah. So both for our guest speaker, we would like to know that when you are moving to Cambodia, what is one we would like to know what is the one touristy things that you would like to recommend doing.
Oh.
Uh, I think Cambodia, they have the Angkor Wat, right? Which is the biggest for everyone.
Mm,
So definitely that one, right?
mm,
But in Phnom Penh, I don't really know much. I know the Genocide Museum and the
mm.
Killing Fee. That's
Killing,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to call them. I forgot. But I've been there. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, I don't really know where to go. So I mostly stay home.
Mm. For me, it's visiting the historical site. Like what I mentioned, I think there's a sense of me to really learn more about a certain country. So I want to know why they're acting this way. And how do I get to know that? Because of their history. History is history has a great impact when it comes to the present, because the present mentality is somehow rooted to the history. And so I like to go, like, if you're like me, would like to learn more about certain country, go to historical sites, museums, interesting, of course, interesting spots like Angkor Wat, like what Miss Lang mentioned. To learn more, of course, take picture with them, post it in Instagram or Facebook. We are promoting Cambodia for free as we post them. And of course, try their food, their clothing, their makeup, their way of, their nails maybe, because they're very artistic in a way. So experience and feel being Cambodian for the span of time that you're here in Cambodia.
Yeah. So yeah, trying local food is also very important thing, right?
Sure. Especially that it's different taste. There's distinct taste that it can really experience.
So
what
what
about
is
you?
the
Sorry. What about you? What would you recommend to tourists or foreigners in Cambodia to visit, except Angkor Wat?
except Angkor Wat as an experience? I think beach at Sihanouk View. Yes.
Go
Yeah.
wrong too, right? Go wrong. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah, quite wrong. Oh, so many provinces here with the natural resources here, like Mandaluyong, that you enjoy the mountain camping, a lot of fresh places. So after all, was there anything unique about studying abroad and living in a foreign country or moving to another country that you experienced?
I'm not studying in this country. I am actually living here in this country. There's so many things, unique things that I've experienced here. One is that I am humbled. I am humbled to appreciate things that if I am really honest, very honest, when they can be easily, when there can be easily accessed, we tend to have taken them for granted. For example, like your time with your loved ones. Sometimes when you get out of your country, you appreciate those things. And then seeing other family there together and you're there, oh no, like that. I think that's one of the things. It's humbling that when you get to realize that you should have experienced this, like enjoying the moment with them, but I took them for granted. And seeing a different culture, getting into another country, it's an eye opener. It's a mirror when it comes to this area of my life. I think I'm kind of a more reflective person, so I think those are the things that unique thing that I've experienced.
Yeah, for me, that's one thing, like the family value. And also, it would be, for me, since I study abroad, it would be really like making new friends, learning about people and getting to know why they are doing this and why they act as, a specific way. And I become, because of the differences that we have. And I learn to like appreciate them, and I learn to accept people as they are. Because different upbringings, right? So I would the unique thing that I experienced studying abroad.
Yeah. If I may just add, I think it's also like people do something different, but it's not wrong. All you have to do is like accept them. It's just that this is not how your system is. So long as it's not bad, welcome them. But of course, if it's not the right thing to do, that's the time you can get into it and be very friendly when it comes to, you know, talking about certain things.
That is so fruitful experience that we would like to try. Interesting. So by time passed by quickly, moving to the last one to give our audience. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So this is it, right?
You were cut as you talked earlier. Miss Mao.
Oh, like moving to this last question. Yes. Yes. Like, what is some good and useful advice that you would give someone planning to travel to live in another country?
Okay, go.
Any one of you.
Yeah, before you move, you know, do research. That's very important. Learn the culture, learn the language. Try to understand what is there and try to learn about the weather too, you know. The weather is like some people cannot like live in a cold weather. Some people cannot live in a hot weather. So try to learn about that and see if if it would fit you or not. So yeah. And also the food too. Because I know that some people cannot eat spicy food, right? But in Asia, we eat a lot of spicy food. So it will be hard for you. I think in Philippines Filipino people cannot eat spicy food as well, right?
Maybe not all, but for some they can.
Yeah.
But not as you guys do.
We love it spicy.
I love spices too.
So.
I can't eat any meal without any spices in it.
Oh,
Me too.
certain people in my country have that in their culture that they need to have chili, spicy. But in my family, I speak for my family, we're not like that. So we're just kind of normal one. Yeah. Yeah. For me to answer the question, the advice that I could give: be excited. You know, have the excitement inside. Because you are getting into a new territory, right? You're not invading, okay? You're just experiencing something. So be open-minded. It's very important because I notice some people like they're comparing. No, we don't compare. We experience the culture as it is, right? Be a learner and enjoy the moment. Travel to experience outside your comfort zone. Again, it's getting out of comfort zone. It's hot, it's hot. It's cold, it's cold. Adjust, right? The body cannot adjust to your preferences. Of course, lastly, when you plan to live in a country, especially living in a country like what I have right now, experiencing right now, make it a priority to learn more about the history of the place, because only by then you'll live in a place with a more meaningful life. You've got a lot of complaints along the way if you don't understand why these people think the way they do. Yeah, those are the advice. That's the advice that I'd like to share.
Like, this is a top 5 life advocate.
Sure.
All right. Yes. As I mentioned, it that time passed by quickly. So yes. Well, our beloved audience, we used to wonder what others who are studying abroad, living and working in other countries look like, and whether experience various stage of acceptance, and we also look forward to figure it out. So now you have known it already from our guest speaker. Yes, seeing from the positive side, moving abroad and live in a foreign country will allow you to grow and develop as a person. So you will find yourself in a different environment, adapting to new culture, and developing cultural awareness and making new friends from all over the world. So, okay, then to our guest speaker, do you have anything more to add on?
Thank you, by the way. Thank you for connecting to me, for me to be here. It's actually my first time. I was browsing your page, and it's a very good platform, not just good, but it's an impressive platform for young people coming together, having this fishing of knowledge like that. As what I keep on mentioning to, because I'm educating the young as well. Education is not for us to gather information. It is for us to apply. It's for application. And what you're doing right now, I believe, is really feeding the mind of this generation and pushing them forward to do something about whatever information that they have gathered. And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate this country. I love this country. Keep up the good work. Yeah.
I would like to say thank you for inviting me. Yeah, and it is really nice to talk to Lela too. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
So Mike Ling. So yes, time is up. So thank you again for being with us today. We truly appreciate for your time to provide us such a valuable experience and advice and sharing through your experience throughout the weather in the country that you move in. So all thanks to your enlightening words that inspire so many people, especially the student out there that would like to go to study abroad. Some people that would like to living in another country, for them to stand up to explore something new things, a fresh start for them for a better quality of life. And as well, we will learn more about ourselves. So we know that the time is precious. We are grateful that you share some of it with us. Yes, we look forward to your participation on our future events and more of our program talk show. You are always welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thank you. You too. Goodbye.
Thank you.